Arizona State Prison has quietly gathered the ingredients to make the lethal gas, Zyklon B, triggering an outrage in Germany. According to a report obtained by The Guardian, the state of Arizona is making plans to use a deadly gas called hydrogen cyanide, also known as Zyklon B, to execute death row prisoners. Nazis infamously used Zyklon B to murder hundreds of thousands of people at Auschwitz, the concentration camps in Germany-occupied Poland during the World War II. Invoices recovered by The Guardian show that Arizona has obtained a brick of potassium cyanide, sodium hydroxide pellets, and sulfuric acid. The prison staff has also taken steps to ensure that a decades-old gas chamber at Arizona State Prison in Florence is operationally ready. These steps, The Guardian notes, were astonishingly primitive. They included holding a candle up to sealed doors and windows. If the candle's flame did not flicker, then the chamber was considered to be airtight. Although Arizona has not used the gas chamber in 22 years, it once relied heavily on lethal gas as a form of execution. The state, one of 27 where the death penalty is still legal, first built a gas chamber in Florence in 1949. In that case, a German national named Walter Lagrand was sentenced to death for an armed robbery that killed one person. It took him 18 minutes to die after cyanide pellets were dropped into acid below his chair. Witnesses described his choking and gagging as unpleasing and how his hands were red and clenched. Lagrand's death fueled outrage in his native country of Germany, where his execution was condemned as barbarism. Over the next several decades, Arizona executed 37 people with lethal gas. The most recent execution was in 1999, and it horrified all who witnessed it. The recent news that Arizona planned to bring back executions by lethal gas, and that the state planned to use Zyklon B, also stirred anger internationally. Martin Weiss, Austria's ambassador to the United States, criticized the move on Twitter, calling the death penalty a cruel and unusual punishment. Weiss added that using Zyklon B for executions is just beyond the pale. The executive vice president of the International Auschwitz Committee, Christoph Heubne, also said that, in his eyes, this is a disgraceful act that is unworthy of any democracy, and moreover insults the victims of the Holocaust. Many other German outlets also criticized the move. The Nazis gassed millions of Jews with the poison, and now the Republican-led state of Arizona wants to use the same poison for executions. This is beyond shocking, the Berlin Daily said. Zyklon B was originally developed as a pesticide. But during World War II, the Nazis used it as a tool of mass murder. They designed concentration camps specifically for the use of pellets of Zyklon B, which allowed them to execute thousands of people a day. At Auschwitz, Nazis killed almost 1 million Jews with Zyklon B. You have to wonder what Arizona was thinking in believing that in 2021 it is acceptable to execute people in a gas chamber with cyanide gas, said Robert Dunham, the executive director of the Death Penalty Information Center. Did they have anybody study the history of the Holocaust? He added. The Arizona Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation and Reentry quoted in a statement that death row inmates convicted of a crime before November 23, 1992, could choose between death by lethal injection or lethal gas. However, to the inmates, that's not much of a choice. Arizona last executed a man named Joseph Wood, in 2014, using lethal injection. It took him an excruciating 2 hours to die. An eyewitness told The Guardian they watched Joseph Wood gasp and gulp hundreds of times after his injection. Following his painful death, Arizona halted executions to reassess the death row protocols. But now that Arizona is reviving the death penalty, 2 death row inmates may face execution by lethal gas, Frank Atwood and Clarence Dixon. Their attorneys say that the so-called choice of death isn't tenable. Frank Atwood is prepared to die, his attorney said. He is a man of Greek Orthodox faith and is preparing for this moment. But he certainly does not want to be tortured and subjected into a botched execution. Subscribe to our channel to get updates on our latest videos. Don't forget to hit the like button and share. We will see you next time.